You tapping in on this Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis 2 card real quick. I'm not talking about every fight again. I'm only talking about a few of the fights I told y'all I tapped back in about after I was able to do a little bit more homework on them. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, with that being said, the first fight being the second fight of the night, Caesar versus Dylan. Now, I told y'all before, the boy Caesar, he got a kickboxing background. And in that kickboxing background, he fought Alex Pereira 3 times. He lost the first time via majority decision. He won the second time via unanimous decision. He lost the third time via unanimous decision. But the young man was able to go to the cards 3 times with Alex Pereira inside the kickboxing ring, and that's more than what we can say for Israel Adesanya. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that just lets you know that this man's very capable on his feet. Now, with that being said, he only has 4 MMA fights under his belt as of yet. The first 3 ending inside the first round via knockout from punches thrown. The fourth fight being on the Contender Series, going to the cards, where he won unanimous decision, but his opposition was able to take him down 3 times. Now, although his opposition was able to take him down 3 times, Caesar was able to rack up a 70% takedown defense. So that lets you know that his opposition shot for quite a few more takedowns than they were able to get. I only say that to say that I didn't know before if Dylan had any wrestling, grappling, or jiu-jitsu in his back pocket to be able to negate Caesar's game plan on the feet. Understand what I'm saying to you? Now, I did a little homework. The young man, he's 12 years younger than Caesar. The young man, he has a little wrestling background. You understand what I'm saying to you? He originally wanted to go the football route, but he took to the wrestling route instead. He wrestled through high school. He wrestled through college. He transitioned into MMA fresh out of college, and now here we are today. Now, on his Dana White Contender Series showing, he was able to rack up 2 takedowns against his opposition, in attempts to implement his wrestling. Now, he was only able to rack up a 28% takedown accuracy. So that lets you know that he shot for quite a few more takedowns than he was able to get. He shot for quite a few that were denied. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, this is just me. This is just my personal opinion. Neither one of these individuals have faced spectacular competition. You understand what I'm saying to you? So what we have to go off of, and the stats that we're privy to right now, at least myself, are those from the Dana White Contender Series. You understand what I'm saying to you? And on one side, you have a man who's very dangerous and very capable on his feet, and as of right now has a 70% takedown defense. And on the other side, you have a man who's going to want to implement his wrestling and get this fight to the ground, who only has a 28% takedown accuracy. Me personally, I'm going to side with the individual who's dangerous on his feet and possesses a 70% takedown defense over the man who wants to implement his wrestling game and has to really get it to the ground to get the job done, but only has a 28% takedown accuracy. You understand what I'm saying to you? And this is just from what I was, what I saw in both of these young men showing on the Contender Series and what I've seen in the little bit of tape that I've, been able to preview. You understand what I'm saying to you? My personal opinion is to side with Caesar, the one who's more dangerous on the feet and possesses a 70% takedown defense, over the man who needs to get the fight to the ground but only possesses a 28% takedown accuracy. That's just me personally, going off the stats that we're privy to and the power that I've seen in Caesar against, like I said, not spectacular competition. It's just my personal opinion that if and when he stuffs a takedown from Dylan, he's going to make that young man pay for that. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that's what I got as far as Caesar and Dylan go. You know what I mean? I ain't do no deep dive and go too crazy into it because I'm not too interested in either one of these individuals' careers as of right now. You understand what I'm saying to you? And how much of a career Caesar's actually going to have, you know what I mean, from here moving forward, coming into the UFC at 36 years old. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I just didn't really waste too much time. I ain't gonna say waste too much time, but put too much time into it. You know what I mean? I just did a quick little boop bop bit You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's what I came up with. And from what I came up with, the lean is Caesar at plus money to stuff the takedowns and make this young man pay. Yeah, so that's that with that. You know what I mean? Now, moving along, we can talk about the boy Hugo. I dove into his 24-4 as I normally do. You know what I mean? To see what your journey to that 24-4 was really hitting for. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that was a decent run. That was decent competition, and that was a respectable 24-4 in my personal opinion. His competition's combined records were 163 wins and 58 losses on his way to those 24 victories and 4 losses. And he has a split bag. You understand what I'm saying to you? He can pretty much get it done anywhere the fight goes with 8 knockouts, 9 submissions, and 7 decisions. You know, that just lets you know that he's very capable of getting that fight done wherever it takes place at. And with that being said, I would probably have to slightly lean Hugo, who I think now is sitting at a minus 125. They were even, and I think he was like minus 125. He started off as a dog at plus money, but he's not plus money no more, I don't believe. Over Haliatang Hai Lee, who was very inconsistent in my eyes and somebody that I just can't trust to show up on a fight night and do what has to be done to get the fight secured, the victory secured. I guess I would just have to go ahead and lean Hugo with a respectable 24-4 to come in there and do what he has to do to walk away with his hand raised on Saturday night, man. Moving along, the Calvillo versus Rodriguez fight, like I told everybody, you know what I'm saying? I don't bet on women's MMA, but the women's MMA that's going to be happening in a few days, leave that shit alone. Sit back and watch it happen, man. This Rodriguez is a decent-sized favorite right now. And me personally, maybe it's just me, I don't understand why. I know people are looking at Calvillo, and they're looking at her record, and then they're looking at the 5-fight skid that she's on. But the level of competition that these young women have faced is, in my personal opinion, uncomparable. And most of Calvillo fights have been inside of the UFC. So she's been fighting higher level competition for the majority of her career. And most of the women that spend the majority of their career in the UFC, you know, it's a lot of losses to go with them wins, because it's just it's a higher level of competition and you're not going to win them all. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not that impressed with Rodriguez. Her best wins being over Kay Hansen and Sam Hughes before getting submitted by Jillian Robertson, who, not for nothing, and one thing don't have anything to do with the other, since Cynthia Calvillo has a dub over outside of the UFC. And you know, who's to say if Rodriguez, you know what I mean, fought all the same individuals and was to sit around in the UFC as long as Cynthia Calvillo did, her record wouldn't look worse. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, the level of competition, in my personal opinion, is uncomparable. So for that reason, sit back and watch that shit, man. Sit back and see what happens, man, because Calvillo might very well show up and shut everybody up and stop that 5-fight skid and show this young lady that, you know, there's levels to this shit, and the levels that I've been fighting on aren't the levels you've been fighting on. You're not the level I've been fighting on, and you're not just going to come in here and use me to continue to, you know, leapfrog your way into this women's division. You understand what I'm saying to you? Put some fucking respect back on my name. You know what I mean? But that might just be me. You know, we leading the dog around here. You in the doghouse, man. But it's women's MMA. It's no bet for me anyway. I just figured for some of y'all, man, who might want to bet on these minus 200s and these, what I mean, parlay some of this, man. Stay the fuck away from these women's fights, man. Stay the fuck away from this one on Saturday night. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because Rodriguez should not be that big of a favorite, man. That's just my personal opinion, man. And talking about women's fights, let's talk about that Jermaine versus Norma fight real quick, man. Leave that shit alone, man. Leave that shit alone, man. For y'all who don't know Jermaine Durand and me, You better sit back and see how she still performs in 2024 before you go putting your motherfucking parlay Norma or putting your money against Jermaine, man. Only the best of the best have been able to take this girl up out of here. You understand what I'm saying to you? She's 9-3 inside the UFC, with 2 of them losses coming to Amanda Nunes. And Amanda Nunes implemented heavy wrestling and grappling to get her to the ground to win those fights. She didn't stand and strike with Jermaine. You don't want to stand and strike with Jermaine, in my personal opinion. That's not what you want to go in there and do. Jermaine beat Holly Holm, you know what I mean? She's beat my baby Rocky Raquel Pennington. She beat Juliana Pena. Like, she's beating some gats inside the UFC octagon that, you know, Norma might not have fared too well against, man. So to think that Norma justifies -2 anything against Jermaine, you're out of your fucking mind, man. And that's just my personal opinion. Jermaine's a gat. That female can fight. I'm getting ready to say some shit out my mouth. That woman can fight. You understand what I'm saying to you? She can fucking throw down, man. And I would guess that Norma's gonna want to implement some wrestling on her, man. And I hope she doesn't catch no nasty knees to the midsection while she's attempting to do so. But I would leave that fight alone because, in my personal opinion, the women that Jermaine has beaten inside the UFC, Norma just has yet to fight that caliber of women inside that octagon. I mean, she lost to Macy Chiasson and she lost to Megan Anderson, and she's gonna lose, in my personal opinion, to Jermaine Durand to me. So I would leave that fight the fuck alone, man. The boy Matsumoto, or Matsumoto, I don't know how you say his name. My bad if I'm fucking butchering it. But it's 14-0. I had to check on that real quick, you know what I mean? Check the temperature on it, see if it was suspect or not, you know what I mean? And I ain't gonna hate on the kid. His 14-0 is it's respectable. It's decent. It's not bad. Combined record of his opposition is 74 wins and 25 losses, and he's a joker that can get it done any which way the fight go. So split bag. What is it? 6 decisions, 5 subs, and 3 knockouts. You know what I mean? So he can make it happen. Wherever the boy Argueta wants to get it cracking at in the middle of that octagon. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of Argueta, so even though old boy's making his UFC debut, it's a respectable 14-0, and he can get it done wherever it go. And I expect him to keep his record undefeated with 15-0 on Saturday night. I lean him. It's UFC debut. I'm not placing no bets. I don't advise that you do either. You know what I mean? And see how the kid does inside the UFC octagon. But yeah, you know what I mean? I would lean that way. You know what I mean? And I would leave the women's fights the fuck alone. You know what I mean? I lean towards Caesar with his 70% takedown defense against Dylan's 28% takedown accuracy. And he needs to get it down to get the win. And if Caesar stuffs it, you know, it's going to be a fucking problem. So I lean him. When we talk about Chepe and we talk about Morgan, you feel me? I'm still on Chepe. I'm still on the side of Chepe things to go ahead and get it done via unanimous decision. You understand what I'm saying to you? There's a lot of people out there that are very heavy, very high, and riding very strong on the Morgan side. And I can respect it. Both of these individuals' resumes are to be respected, man. Like, they're not chumps. You feel what I'm saying to you? But with that being said, I still side on the side of things of Chepe Mariscal to go ahead and get it done all the way around. You understand what I'm saying to you? If he don't feel like standing and banging with Morgan and he want to put that thing on the ground, he's going to put it wherever he wants to put it. In my personal opinion, this fight's going to be wherever Chepe wants this fight to be. Morgan got some respectable wins, you know. He got a win over William Gomis outside the UFC. As Chepe got wins over Youssef Salau and Pat Sabatini outside of UFC. You know, they resumes on both sides. They're respectable, man. But it's still Chepe Mariscal for me, man. And I believe that's it, man. it wasn't it wasn't nothing else, man, that I really wanted to touch on. So um, I apologize for holding y'all ear as long as I held it. We just touched 15 minutes. That wasn't my intention. You understand what I'm saying to you? But with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up. Stay away from the female fights. The line is disrespecting Calvillo, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Not just because we in a doghouse and I like to make a motherfucking case for the dogs, but just for the facts that the competition and the opposition that these women have faced have been completely incomparable. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's just your biggest wins are Kay Hansen and Sam Hughes. You understand what I'm saying to you? I'm cool. I'm just going to sit back and watch, you feel me? And not be surprised if Calvillo comes in there, shows up, shows out, and shuts everybody the fuck up, stops her fight, 5-fight skid, you know, and goes on into the night. So just leave that shit alone, man. Jermaine versus Norma, it's the same thing, man. But a lot more intense as far as how I feel, man. You know what I mean? The competition and the opposition just hasn't been the same, man. It hasn't been the same, man. Norma hasn't fought the caliber of females that Jermaine has beaten. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion, you can look at their resumes, look at their records, and, you know what I mean, come up with your own opinion on that. But, you know, Holly Holm and Juliana Pena alone, just them two names. You understand what I'm saying to you? Norma has nobody like that on her record, man. You know what I mean? And standing on the feet with Jermaine, in my personal opinion, is not something anybody is going to choose to want to do after they're in there for a hot little 90 seconds with her on the feet. You know what I mean? And how good she's going to be at getting Jermaine to the ground, I don't know. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? We got to see how Jermaine performs in 2024, man. Leave them female fights the fuck alone. Now, if you want to fuck with these UFC debuters, man, Eileen Caesar, man. Eileen Caesar with that 70% takedown defense and being as dangerous and as capable as he is on his feet against Dylan's 28% takedown accuracy and him needing to get the fight to the ground to walk away victorious. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I'm siding with Caesar, and I believe he's still plus money right now. You know what I mean? Hugo's 24-4 is a respectable 24-4. I gave y'all the numbers. The numbers aren't right in front of me right now, but it's definitely a respectable 24-4. You know what I'm saying? And just like his competition got a combined record of 163 wins, 58 losses. And he got a split bag of motherfucking 8 knockouts, 9 subs, and 7 decisions. He can get it done anywhere. That's a respectable 24-4, man. So I would side on the side of him against Aliatang Hai Lee. And even though Hugo's not a dog, I think he's like minus 125 or something now, I side on the side of him, man. And the boy Matsu Mato, 14-0. It's not a bad, it's a decent climb to 14-0, you know what I'm saying? I think he climbs to 15-0 against Argueta on Saturday night, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I mean? That's that with that, man. I still side on the side of Alex Morono, you know what I mean? Even though Court McGee, when you compare their resumes, you understand what I'm saying to you? You can't deny the fact that Court McGee, even though it was 11 years ago, back in 2013, holds a split decision over Robert Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? And he also holds a victory over motherfucking Claudio Plautus and Claudio Silva. And I respect that. Me personally, I respect that win over Claudio Silva. And I really respect that win over Robert Whitaker. You know what I mean? Even though they were a long fucking time ago. You feel me? But with that being said, I still side on the side of Alex Morono. You know what I mean? But I had to go ahead and slide that in there real quick, man. You can't hate on the fact that that young man does, he got them two names, Claudio Silva and Robert Whitaker, on his resume. You know what I mean? But I still see Morono getting that done. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. That's that with that. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. I'll tap back in, you know, throughout the week.